Hey, how you guys doing? This is Ed March, Professor Vector. We're going to look at some CAD programs for 3D printing. Some you may be familiar with, but one especially called SolidEdge you may not be familiar with. And I'm really pretty excited about this because nobody's talking about it. And it seems to have a lot of nice features. But let's look at some of the stuff that's out there and available for free and paid. Now, first off, I eliminate anything with a subscription service because I think subscriptions are a ripoff. Why would you pay over and over and over for the same thing when you could buy it once with a perpetual license? And second of all, I eliminated anything that's web-based because almost all of those are also subscription services. And some of those that are free, you have to make your projects available to the community, and sometimes people don't want to do that. They just want to print what they want to print. So I'm looking at things, call me old-fashioned, but I'm looking at exe files that run on your computer and that save your project files on your computer, and you can move them to your 3D printer and print those, and they stay within that confined area. So first of all, there's a lot of talk about FreeCAD and Blender. So we'll look at FreeCAD. I mean, there's version 0.21.1. Now, FreeCAD's been around for 30 years. No, I'm sorry. FreeCAD's been around for 21 years, and it took them this long. So they got 79 more years to go to get to version 1.0. If you look at Jonathan from Maker Tales, he thinks FreeCAD is totally flawed in just the way you put 2D sketches on surfaces of 3D objects because it's name-based, and I tend to agree with him. So I also don't like the workbench thing. When you start, you got all these goofy workbenches. Like, what is this? Are you guys on drugs? Yeah, I think so. So you can start with the sketcher, and you can make a sketch, and you can pick which plane you want to do. So if you're looking at this top down, you would draw 2 dimensions on an XY plane. Okay, and we can make a circle and make another circle. Okay, I was going to make a soda straw holder, and I guess I can show you this, do this the easy way. So this soda straw stays in and does not float up because there's a little straw holder that was 3D printed that clips on the edge of the glass and keeps my straw in place. All right. So tastes great, lasts a long time, and I 3D printed this. And so what this is basically 2 circles, a 1/4 inch diameter circle and an outside 1/2 inch circle. And when you close these, you can go to the part design. Part design is really going from 2D mode to 3D mode, and click on both of those with Control click, and then you could pad these out or extrude them. In every other CAD program it's called extrude, but in FreeCAD it's called pad. So, but then you got to create this new body. Like, what's all that about? Okay, so you go here and they made a body, but your sketch is here, and you know, this is kind of confusing, kinda. So you can move the body sometimes to there, and then you can try this again and pad this out and make a 3D object. Then you could bevel these edges and stuff like that, and you can make a box. So that's kind of the way it works. The navigation, I think they did it right. They did the middle button pans, the wheel scrolls, and the middle button pans. Alright, so I got my, you can see which mouse buttons I'm hitting now. So that's FreeCAD in a nutshell, okay? I will give you a link to why Jonathan of Maker Tales says it's flawed. And then after FreeCAD, there's probably Blender. So all these CAD programs are kind of like driving a car, a motorcycle, an RV, a bus. But Blender's like driving a hot air balloon while you're high on cocaine, by Casey Jones. So Blender is a modeling program and not really a CAD program. So it's more artistic. You can sculpt with clay, you can make, you can do video editing with it, you can, take your animations and make keyframes. You can make two-dimensional cartoons, you can make IK bones, you can do a lot. So one of the problems with using Blender as a 3D printing CAD program is not only are you looking for a needle in a haystack with most CAD programs when you first start out, but Blender has so many haystacks that you'll feel like Eeyore in the 100-acre forest of haystacks, because there's just too many haystacks to look through, and you won't know if you're doing layout or modeling or sculpting or texture painting, or there's just way too much of it. But there's almost a command to do every crazy thing you ever want to do. Like if you want to add a cube, you can go in object mode and you can hit G for grab and you move the cube around. You hit X and it confines it to X. You hit Y, it confines it to Y. Hit Z, it confines it to Y. Hit Shift Z and it moves on X and Y, but never on Z, right? It's getting smaller because it's in this perspective mode. So then you hit scale and the same thing is true. You can hit X and you can just scale it on the X. So while it does a lot of neat things, there's menus that are drop-down conventional menus. There's toolbars on the right that you can add names to and widen them. It just has a non-standard user interface. And then it has these tabs, which most of the time you can do things, and like here you move the middle mouse button and it rotates. You have to hit shift or use the hand to pan, so it's kind of backwards of the rest. But that being said, there's preferences and add-ons, Python scripting add-ons, which FreeCAD also has Python scripting, and you can key map stuff and you can pick what kind of keys you want for every different thing. So using Blender is a lot about memorizing keys, because if I hit K, oh, I'm in the wrong mode. I have to hit tab, go to object mode. I can get vertex and I can select these points, or I can select segments. Then I can hit G and just move the segment around, see? And I can hit X and just confine that segment motion. So in that way, it's really nice. And escape to cancel. Or I can hit F for face. So I can hit G, or select the face, hit G, and pull out a face. And move it along, its global coordinate system or its local coordinate system. So if this whole cube, okay, if I took this and I rotated it like that, now when you pull out the face, hit G, it'll pull out on the local coordinate system. But if it was on the global coordinate system, It still does it along the normals, but if you hit X, it'll move it along the global coordinate system and not the X to the object coordinate system. So it's a lot about learning keys, because every time you do something, the same key is different. Like here, like let's go here and let's hit K for knife. So now we got a little knife and we can just cut from here to here. But if you want to go up here and cut down 1 inch, I haven't found any way to do that. You got to know where the inch is, maybe make a construction marker or add a vertex, do something else than while you're using the knife. The coordinates are not shown on the screen anywhere. You can change this bottom menu bar a lot. Like this is version 4.01, but there's just, every time you press a key, like in knife, the C key will cut through. So if you hit C, it'll cut through from here to there. And then you can hit right click, and that should have cut through the whole object. Most of them work when the object is opaque, that you're cutting on the sides. If you're in X-ray vision, oops, we got to drop our knife. If you're in the X-ray vision, then what you do with the knife actually cuts all the way through. So, but not everybody does that. All right, let's look at something else. So that's Blender 4.0, which has some really nice features, but it's, I don't know if I'd recommend it for CAD. It's great for artistic things, not too good for CAD. Fusion is from AutoCAD, right? It's not for commercial use. All right, so that's a limitation. FreeCAD and Blender, you can make $1 billion and no one's going to complain because they're open source projects. Most people are using Fusion 360. It's pretty good. It's limited in some ways, but the menus are pretty much obvious. There's just not a lot of, you can make a cylinder, you can pick what plane you want to put it on, and most of the things pop up and you can type in coordinates, so it's very engineering like. It has the same rotation cube, the navigation cube for 3 dimensions as Blender does. So Blender has this. Okay. A lot of people start with Microsoft 3D Builder, which is very, very limited, but it gives you the idea of what can be done. So you can start with a new part, okay, and you can work in whatever kind of unit you want. I'm working in inches here. And you just keep adding more new parts, like an object. You can do stuff with the object. You can insert a cylinder. So most of them start with the geometric shapes. You can move them up, down, and around. You can set their size. Like this was 4, 7, and 9. And you can add and subtract shapes, and that's pretty much it. You can't do much beveling, and you can export this out to an STL file so you can 3D print it. And there's another program called Wings 3D. And this was not written in C++. This was written in, I forgot now. Anyway, Wings 3D allows you to do very simple type things. You can insert an object, a cube. You can subdivide rather easily. You can select faces. You can select vertexes. And you can move those along the normal. And so you can make objects. It's a lot like playing with Legos and doing things where, you know, you can grab a bunch of objects, you can grab the whole object itself. So it's based on the vertex, edge, face, object concept, which Blender has. And most people have, but some of it's a little bit invisible and it's not that obvious how you're selecting them. Okay. Then there is IntelliCAD. Unfortunately, I paid money for IntelliCAD and I don't have anything good to say about this. It was $199. I got it for $160 or something like that. Yeah, I got $40 off, 20% off. And they said they had a special, buy 2 of them on your credit card and then you save 20%. And I says, well, I want to learn this with a friend, so why can't he buy one and I buy one? Well, they didn't have that deal. So after a couple email rounds, they gave me 20% off for taking a survey. The survey question was, how did you hear about us? And it was, you know, Google search. And then I gave him my friend's email and stuff, and they gave him 40% off. And so he paid like $140, I paid $160, and I bought mine on Wednesday, he bought his on Saturday. Monday I complained, and they says, well, all sales are final, and besides, the sale's over anyway. It was only Saturday and Sunday, so tough. So CMS AutoCAD, I don't like these people. I don't trust them. I think I got screwed by them. I don't like the way this program works. It feels very precise and nice with the cursor. It gives you very exact things, yet it's very clumsy and hard to do things. It doesn't always do what you think it's going to do, even though it has the you know, world coordinate system and home and all this kind of stuff. So, and it has a Lisp interface, very similar to AutoCAD. It's horrible language, Lisp. And it has a C#.NET interface, which I have yet to get working. So I kind of gave up on that. And then I'm going to look at one more paid program. And that paid program is my go-to here, which is very simple to use. I compare this as taking the scooter to Walmart. You want to go to Walmart, you get on your little scooter and bam, you go. You got your shapes, you got your cylinders, you click, and you know, you move them around with the middle mouse button. You got workbenches. Really, you got a 2D workbench, right? And a 3D workbench. In the 2D workbench, you can draw something that's two-dimensional. And then you could go to your 3D workbench, and you can select an object or many objects. We'll delete this, hit the delete key, and we will highlight all these. It does the typical highlight from the left, does all of them, highlight from the right, does whatever it touches. So if I just do that, they're touched. If I highlight left down, it doesn't select any of them. So if I just encompass this one, only the lower hexagon is going to be selected because he's totally encompassed. But if I select this, that touches all of them. So then I can hit E for extrude. Let's see, I want to use a menu here too to extrude this, so I can extrude the solid, give it a distance of 0.5. You can also type in like 0.5 plus 0.12 stuff like that. It does math within all its data entries. I'm not sure which other programs do that. And I'm going to hit F2, go back to my cursor, and you can see that it extruded those kind of like what you'd expect. So I really like that. Here, one of the things I like about this is the extrusions do what you think they're going to do. So when you're in two-dimensional mode and I take a circle from the center out, and then I take some, well, let's see, you could even just do lines. So, and connect it back to there and hit right click, okay, and then go to this mode, go back to extrude, do that. We're still at our same distance, hit return, and it extrudes, you know, the outside object and the inside object. Whereas IntelliCAD does not do that. It only extrudes the outside, and I actually wrote a Lisp script to find the object within the bounds of the other object, and oh my gosh, and it's not done, and I just gave up on it. So now the new winner that I found is SolidEdge. Now if you read the this is the community edition. This is 100% free, and this is really, really nice. There's only one more program that if you think you want to make money with, and that is ZForm free. Okay, so this is the free version of Autodesk, and according to the EULA, as what I understand, you can use this free. It doesn't actually say you can make money, but it says you can use it for just about all purposes. It has pretty good help. It's limited. They want to sell you the other programs, but it's worth. Yeah, this is the about page. Sorry. But it's okay. I mean, to get started with, not a bad program. But SolidEdge, I think, is the clear winner to do 3D printing and not for profit. Okay. I just want to tell you, I like learning new things. I like playing with CAD programs. When editors came out in the 80s, I got every text editor. I started with Brief and, you know, you name it. Now my editor of choice is Edit Plus, $35. One of the best $35 I think I spent on shareware because I love that editor. So SolidEdge is really neat. You cannot make money with it. It's for hobby learning only and not for monetary gain. So like I say, I recommend using ZForm or something like that if you want to make money with it. So, but it's fairly simple to use. You can sketch, like you can make a sketch and you can pick what plane you want to draw on. So we want to draw on this X and Y plane, and so you're picking 2 dimensions out of 3 dimensions, right? That's pretty common. So there you are, you're picking that, and then you want to draw something. You can draw a circle or a line. Let's draw a circle. Click to there. We got a radius. So we can make our diameter, or we can set a radius. So let's say we want the radius to be 0.25, or we know we need a 1/2 inch. So we take a 1/2 inch and we just divide it by 2. So it'll do math right inside the equations, you know, the data entry stuff, just like you'd expect. And we take another one of these and we put it there. In that case, we hit escape. And we want this one to be 0.25. So we got our two dimensions, or our two objects here. You can look at these from the top view. Here, let's finish this 2D view so we go out of the 2D mode. And let's just go to the top. Oops. I don't like the way this pans, sorry. We can fit these, we can go to the review, and we can fit those in the view. So if we wanted to extrude these now, this is the tree of objects. So everything is non-destructive. It kind of like does the logic as it displays them. So you can go here and you can say, well, you know, I really didn't want this to be, I wanted this to be a little leeway because that straw is a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, and I'm going to make this 62, right? So you can always go back and edit things, which in ViaCAD is a little bit hard. But then you can take this and you can extrude this into tools. Where is it? 3D print, no. Surfacing. Oh, we got to finish our sketch. And so you go to home, there it is. You go to home and you can extrude this. And we'll hit that and control that. Okay. Select OK for that. And then we'll take our distance. Let's make this 0.1 inch so you can get a good visual on it. And then we're done with that. We can, oops, I guess we didn't want to close that. So we can extrude this and that. Type in 0.1 inch. Oh, we didn't get our outside guy. Whoops. Sorry about that. So we get both of these selected, green and green, extrude them. Or it's post command, so you do extrude, select them, hit your green, hit 0.1 inches. Okay. And then you should be able to just finish this. So we're done with that. And then if you want to draw on top, I don't know how you get that little menu out of there. If you want to draw on this surface, you can do a sketch. I mean, you can pick that plane and these things snap kind of at 90 degrees and they just feel good. I'm doing this just to be a little different. Okay, right click, get rid of that. And you can set your lengths and the lines and all that kind of stuff. Do the green check, okay. and then you want to extrude this piece out of there. We'll hit finish on our sketch. We select that, we hit extrude, or we hit extrude and then we select that. Some are post command, some are pre command. So we got that selected. We want to do an add though, otherwise it'll cut a hole in it. Maybe I should show you how it cuts a hole first, because that's kind of interesting. So you can see is it'll cut a hole so far so deep if you only want it that deep. I'm not sure what that error is. But so here we will, that's the add, or that's the subtract, I mean, that's, so there we will add that piece, and you can pick if it goes from one side or both sides. And you can pick how long this is. And finish this off. And now if you change your mind about anything and you want to re-edit this shape, you can click on this and you can click on the edit profile. Oops. And the direction, right. If I pick this whole object, well, this is made out of segments, so I can actually pick the length of it and the line. So let's make that 0.2. Okay, so that just made that line a little bit longer. So you can always go back and edit things, which is a really nice feature. And so, yeah, I say go take a look at, you know, Solid Edition. You can go to 3D printing, you can export. So all in all, it's a pretty cool program. Check it out. And don't forget to like and subscribe to find out more things about ham radio, 3D printing, CNC, laser etching, just about all things related to vectors. Take care.